When looking at the landscape for stealth titles from the big AAA space, it would seem that it's a bit sparse. We used to have so many. I remember a time where Metal Gear Solid, Tenchu, Siphon Filter, Splinter Cell, and many more were thriving. Now sure, there is stealth usually featured in many AAA games, but this is more a light stealth, with it not even including options like being able to move or hide dead bodies. Hitman was always something that's been standing pretty tall within this space, always enduring, and the recent-ish World of Assassination trilogy was great and still is. But now they are moving on to James Bond. A good fit if you ask me, but we probably won't see anything big from Agent 47 for a while. At that rate, what else do we have? Well, there's a remake of Snake Eater coming out, and as someone who doesn't really care for remakes, this is one that does have my interest. But that's an oldie coming back. What's something new? Apparently Splinter Cell is getting a remake, but Ubisoft might end up imploding soon. This is where I direct your attention to a great series, and a fun recent title with Sniper Elite Resistance. It's a game and series that is shown to wear many hats, and one of those is stealth. It's improved with each entry, and we are kinda at a point where it can scratch that Splinter Cell-like itch in World War II, or at least provide a satisfying stealth experience. There are many things that I am impressed with how Sniper Elite approaches its gameplay, and the options for the player. For one, as it pertains to the stealth, you have a lot of options that I think many stealth fans would like to see, but they're not usually included in much of the bigger budget games. For example, you see stealth in other titles, from say some of the bigger companies, and yet you can't even move a dead body in them, making it seem like stealth could have been done, but to the extent that the player wants it to be done, it doesn't happen. By allowing for options like this, it means that you can remain undetected. The threat of detection is so intense, and contributes highly to that tension found within a quality stealth action title. Being able to both slip by, determine the best means to strike, or not strike is satisfying. Sometimes it's best to just wait for an enemy to move by, instead of trying to engage them. Or maybe you are more of an assassin, and you don't want anyone to be left alive. The choice is up to the player. Sniper Elite Resistance provides that very same set of choices, allowing for you to sneak around World War II with a stealth fantasy. So for those new to Sniper Elite, let me just touch on some of the cool stealth options that you have. For one, you have an adaptive cover system, allowing you to both take cover from fire and from being seen. You can go from a sprint to a crouch walk, or to crawl at any time. Tall grass allows you to both hide and hide incapacitated enemies there. Boxes are around where you can throw a dead body into. You can perform takedowns. Interesting enough, you can actually opt to either be lethal or non-lethal with them. Non-lethal takedowns are awarded a bonus at the end of a level 2. Silencers can be earned and attached to pretty much every weapon you have, including sniper rifles. The same goes for different ammo types that can also reduce the sound that you make. You can break equipment to create environmental sounds as a means to mask your louder shots if you don't have any of those silenced weapons. Some levels even have environmental sounds like say a church bell that will ding every so often. Time your shot to the sound and then no one will know that a gunshot was fired. Another cool aspect is how you have access to a whistle, which is right out of Splinter Cell. You can use this to bait enemies. Broken bottles can be found and used to distract foes. If caught, enemies will try to hunt you down, but you can hide for a while and then go right back to playing the game in a more sneaky manner. I may be forgetting a few other elements, but these are a lot of different options that can aid in a stealth or silent playthrough. I look at many of these situations, and if you remove the sniping from this title, it would still be a fun stealth action World War II game. I am going through these areas, paying attention to enemy patrols, guards, and all of that, tagging my foes, trying to figure out the best opening. Which path should I take? Do I bother trying to take everyone out, or should I just try to slip by and only attack when it's necessary? Sniper Elite is a tactical game, and rewards for playing as such. Stealth is a strong aspect to the game. It's grown a lot, and I think the beauty in how Sniper Elite does many things is that it does them very well and manages to allow for various playstyles. Stealth is just one of those options. You could treat the game like a shooting gallery, or maybe you want to live out the fantasy as if Solid Snake or Sam Fisher were on a mission in World War II. Some nice touches like not being forced to kill enemies for takedowns is cool. along with the reward that you get for it. Sniper Elite is sort of at the point where it lets the player decide. They provide these rather large levels, with lots of ins and outs, many locations within them, and places to see, occupied all by the enemy, and it's up to you to figure out the best way to dispatch them, or ignore most of them and only focus on the objectives. It all comes down to choice. Say Sniper Elite is a really fun stealth game, but when you can pivot your playstyle on a dime, that inherently increases the replay value. Personally, I prefer to go through the campaign once in solo play, taking in a very stealthy approach, and then while in co-op, we usually start as stealth, and then this usually leads to some messiness, and then it's more open combat. If you are just entering this series now, know that it took a few entries to get to this point. What you see is the result of the developers tweaking and improving as they went along. It didn't start this good, and the expansiveness just kept getting better with each entry. Now in fairness, much of the stuff that I mention are things found in other entries of the series. Like I said, the sniping was always very strong for these games, hence the title. But the third-person gunplay outside of that, along with the stealth, were areas that never really felt like a full option, more like a secondary option to all of the sniping. But as the entries continued, these elements got a lot better. Sniper Elite 3 saw refinement along with bigger levels and player expression. This was very much tweaked and improved to almost perfection with Sniper Elite 4. Gunplay continued to feel smoother in 5, along with the stealth too, even though I missed the crouch run from 4 in 5, with Resistance essentially being a big expansion to Sniper Elite 5. Both share in that fun with the stealth and gameplay. As such, I think for me, until much of the AAA industry can get their act together as it pertains to stealth, Sniper Elite provides a great option. I love going through levels all sneaky-like, playing it slow and really exploring, figuring out the best way forward. At the same time, with so many options for the player, stealth is just one of many fully fleshed out options that these games provide to the player. So yeah, where I miss the likes of Gabe Logan and Sam Fisher, Sniper Elite, especially with the most recent entries, scratches an itch, and I think will make stealth fans happy. Is Sniper Elite the best World War II Splinter Cell game? Maybe, until we get a more Splinter Cell-like experience too. But it most certainly is a great stealth game, especially if you just want to play it that way. I played a lot of 5, so it's an easy recommendation, and as I'm going through Resistance right now, giving it the same attention, I really like the stealth options here. So if you're looking for a new stealth game, maybe consider giving Sniper Elite a look. What are your thoughts on all this? Do you like playing, say, Sniper Elite 4, 5, and Resistance through a stealth lens? What's your preferred playstyle? Let me know all of this in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.